so nice to be here together with you. I see that people are still coming, so maybe we'll wait like a second or two.
So maybe a quarter?
Maybe a quarter.
Yeah. We are waiting for you. Come on.
Front rows are empty.
Yes, first row is the best, like in school. Do you know who wrote this text? This speech at the beginning?
I have no idea. Okay, guys, I think that we can start. We are here together with Jakub as representatives of ING Hubs Poland. We are representing a company which is actually acting on behalf of entire ING group. Me, personally, I'm responsible for Identity and Access Management Department, and we are delivering IAM services globally towards entire ING group. Jakub, standing next to me, also works for ING Hubs, but he's on completely different side of the barricade.
Yeah.
So today we are going to act as almost red and the blue one.
Yes, because our company color is not red. We need to change a bank if we want a red. So almost red and blue.
So what about us? If you would like to look on our bio, I wouldn't spend the time much on it. We have plenty of certificates. You can find us out on the LinkedIn and check everything. What is important is on the next slide.
Yeah, we are totally different. But first of all, I would like to tell you a short story about this photo. So generally, I have the same trousers and the same hoodie on me. And it was made a couple of years ago in Copenhagen. And it was a most expensive sandwich I have ever ate, because the food truck where it was sold, has a Michelin star. So generally, I was happy when I ate it, but I'm not happy when I pay for it. So long story short about me, I have one wife, two daughters, one rabbit. Rabbit calls Mimi cat, and the doll.
Okay, so it seems that we are not that different, because I also have a wife. I also have two kids, and unfortunately, I also have a rabbit. My rabbit's name is Pastet. It's Pate. So let's move on. To set the stage at the very beginning, ING Hubs is not for the first time here on the stage on Confidence. My colleagues, for over a few years ago, they were actually providing wonderful presentations about sophisticated hacking techniques, because this is something what we actually internally do in ING. But today, we are going to focus on the simple things. We are going to prove you that you don't have to have sophisticated tools to start hacking, to start cracking. And just to show you where we are focusing today, we prepared some statistics. These statistics are coming directly from Microsoft, and they are showing the perspective of last few months. And Microsoft reported that over 6 million identity attacks is noted daily. 99% of these attacks are oriented around the identity, especially around the passwords. So you see that the things which were actually painful over the last few years, they are still present.
So maybe first of all, hacking is a state of mind, in my opinion, not a hacking tools like for script kiddies or something like that. Why we are talking about Microsoft Stats? Do you know why we are talking about Microsoft Stats? Because Microsoft is the largest identity provider for business right now. Yes, I think the most companies in the world uses Entra ID, Azure AD in past, yes, to authorization. So Microsoft said that year by year, the compromised credentials spike by 33%. Yes, 33% year by year. It's a huge scale, in my opinion. What else? About half of successful attacks start on compromised credentials. So not only hackers like me, yes, these white hackers, great hackers, but also black hackers, these bad guys, using stolen stolen credentials, stolen usernames, passwords to start their attacks. So this is a very, very big scale of IAM hacking at the beginning of every hacking process.
So let's move on. Let's check what we prepared for you today. Actually, entire presentation will be delivered in the way that we would like to guide you through the journey. So we would like to present you the things which were relevant in the past. And this is something what I call hygiene, because together with that past events, we also have to take some lessons, learn from the experience from the past, and basically do it as something very basic, something we cannot avoid. The next part of the presentation will talk about the things we are recognizing in identity and access management domain as threats and countermeasures right now. So the new habits we have to gain over our journey. And the final part is a to-do. So the things which are relevant for upcoming days and years. That's the roadbook for today. Let's jump into the history. How the IAM landscape looked like, what was relevant for hackers, what was used by blue guys like me to countermeasures the vulnerabilities detected by our colleagues.
So in early days of financial security, but not only financial, general security, attack vectors were very simply. Today we can say that it was very simply. For example, targeting physical access. Who remember these small USB devices somewhere on the floor during the red team operations? Yes, Maciek remember it. Yes, it was common in the past years, and it was a very simple method to deliver malware directly through the workstation. What else? What else? Exploiting basic system vulnerabilities. Do you remember Log4j? Probably yes. Probably all of us remember Log4j. It was 4 years ago, December 2021, if I could remember. It was maybe it was not a past, but it was a very simple type of vulnerability. If you want something from a real past, who knows Marcus Hess? Do you remember guy from Germany, Marcus Hess?
Anybody?
Anybody? Yeah. So
who is that guy?
The same guy, yes. In 1986, yes, 1986, probably most of you was not in the world this time. In 1986, he hacked into ARPANET and gained access to 400 US Army servers. Yes, why? Because there was no any security, and US Army at this time, probably today also, used high privilege accounts to access to their network. Yes, so it was a very simple use case to jump into a very strict, very I think very important network.
So Jakub mentioned that one of the early attack vectors was physical access. Next to that, we also have things related with the weak passwords. How we dealt with these kind of things. The physical access was relatively easy back then, because we immediately implemented physical barriers, access control systems, swipe cards to enter the buildings, and so on. So it was relatively easy and effective. When it comes to the IT-related countermeasures, company also relatively fastly adopted things like policies which are prohibiting sticking USB sticks into the computers, prohibiting execution of the malware coming from the external sources. What was problematic and is still problematic? I would say passwords. Yeah? We were focusing on passwords. We were trying to educate our colleagues to teach them that the password has to be strong. But if you look on the password, regardless if it is strong or weak, it has some pluses and drawbacks. If you use weak password, from one end, it's very handy for the end users, because he or she can use that password relatively easy. When it comes to the hackers, easy password is really easy to crack. And it doesn't really matter whether we are talking about the past or the situation right now, or maybe even future. And we'll talk about it later on. When it comes to the weak, stronger passwords, there was a trend to push people to start building really complex passwords and change them relatively often. What was the consequence of that movement? Well, people were struggling with remembering the password. So the famous post-its started popping all over the offices. Are we ready to say that we were safe back then? No, absolutely not. The early age of the security has a lot of drawbacks, starting from weak passwords. Okay?
Can I make one short back to this access control systems?
Go on.
Who was in a hotel today, this night? A lot of you probably, yes? Who tried to clone their access card to the hotel room? Yeah, a lot of you, because access cards are easily to bypass. Yes, today you can buy a Flipper Zero, for example, for a 1K of PLN. Yes, and you can hack maybe not all, but a lot of access control systems. Yes, it's a pretty easy and pretty cheap today, and maybe sometimes ago it was not so easy, so cheap. But today, this kind of protection, yes, access control system is very easily to bypass.
Okay, so to sum it up, drawbacks of the early security measures. We already know that the passwords in general, regardless if they are weak or difficult, they are problematic. People are not aware. People are really vulnerable to colleagues like Jakub and their techniques. What is also worth to mention is the fact that in the past we had also very low institutional awareness.
I saw Krzysztof Zieliński somewhere, so maybe not talk about this, because he prepared a lot of this law.
Still, in the past, I'm talking about past, it was problematic because that institutional awareness was really low. Right now, speaking as a representative of the bank industry, I would say that from time to time, I've got a feeling that we are a little bit over-regulated. But the good thing in that area is that all those regulators and regulations they are actually putting on our plates are pretty much talking the same language. Yeah? So it's not that bad right now. Let's move on. Let's not stay too long in the past. As a starter, we have prepared a short demo. How easy it is to start actually playing with the identity.
How it was.
It was and is.
Maybe it is. Yes. So long story short, long time ago, do you know a tool called Hydra? Probably yes. Yes. This is a tool for brute forcing and other stuff like that. So many years ago, it was a pretty easy using this tool to enumerate and try to check if the account exists, if the account is active, is the username and password is correct. And probably 15 years ago, you can use Hydra for that. Today, it's also pretty easy. For example,
you don't have to have tools.
We don't need a tool, we only need a browser, because today everything is connected, everything is accessible through internet. So every what we need is a laptop and a browser. And on this example, on the Microsoft side, you can check if the Entra ID identity is existing or not. And it's pretty easy and fast.
Shall I start it?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So this is a normal page where you can log in. Yes, we type here a not existing account, and we have an error. The username is incorrect. So we know that this person, this email does not exist. When we paste here a normal existing account, we are asking for enter a password. On the OWASP, there is a special kind of checkpoint about this. This is known from 20 years, and today on
still
Microsoft,
valid.
Still working. Yes, still the same. Is it correct? Is it good? I don't think so.
What about your identity provider? Does it act the same way?
Check. You can make a POC on your home and check the same on a Google. Let's try.
Okay, so let's not stay too long in the past. Let's jump into the current times. And here I have my personal story about the current world. I was really surprised that the work will catch me at home so soon. There was a moment in my life when my daughter came to me and she was crying like hell. She was so sad, and I couldn't even get information what has happened. At a certain point of time, I managed to calm her down, and I asked her, Susanna, tell me what has happened. The message I received was, Daddy, someone stole my Roblox account. Someone is using my Roblox account. And believe me, she worked very hard to pimp up her character in the Roblox. She had some Robux, she had really nice stuff connected to that Roblox. We couldn't restore that account because it was stolen, right? Even the contact with the Roblox support line didn't help. So we need to build that character from the scratch. But what was the lesson from that exercise? That from that moment on, literally every credential we are using at my home is using multi-factor authentication. And this is something what became industry standard right now. I do not recognize company which would have a problem to recognize that term, MFA. MFA is literally everywhere. It enhances our security, it secures our transactions, it helps us to prove that we are the one who we are claiming to be. And, well, I gave you one real example from my personal life, but we also have case studies from the large companies. And on the slide, you have a extract from the study of Google when they actually launched the MFA for everybody. It was 2017. And back then, they reported that the attack surface was reduced by 99.9%. So the question is right now, if we implement MFA in our company, are we secure? And here I would like to encourage you to play around with us. If you could pull out your phones, scan the code, and answer to the really short survey.
You can trust us. Yes, it's secure.
It's safe. It's
yes,
safe.
It's safe. The QR code was prepared by our blue side, not the red side.
Let's check what you think. Are we safe if we implement MFA? Not at all. Okay. And that's what I like.
Why there is no yes, absolutely?
Look, it looks like a fight. Yeah? We are moving back and forth, back and forth. But we have at least one person who answered yes, absolutely.
Please.
Stand up.
We have some gadgets.
Who is the brave one? No one? Whoa, that's surprising.
This nice lion.
Okay, so let's move on, Jakub. If you would ask me if we are secure, I would also answer, it depends.
As always, it depends.
Because it really depends how that MFA is enabled in your company. And we'll talk about it later on the following slides. Okay, so a few words about our experience. As I mentioned, the example from my private life became my daily job. We were implementing MFA like crazy, and like every other company, we started with the small proof of concept, where we invited a number of companies to check how the MFA they are delivering works for us. We decided to bet on Microsoft, and I guess that many of you is also using Microsoft. So the story about the Microsoft. We did an implementation, but we have a habit or standard in our company that before we launch the product into production, we always invite Jakub and his colleagues to check how does it work. And I'm just wondering, Jakub, how was it?
Quick.
Okay. The answer says for itself. It was really quick. Literally, after a few hours, we have proof that the MFA implemented by us, MFA delivered by Microsoft, was completely useless. So we reported it back to Microsoft. Why it was useless? Well, if you would see, look on the prompt we were getting, there was information who is trying to log on and input field to enter the MFA challenge. But there was no information about the origin of that MFA challenge. So what was working?
So generally, the attack called MFA bombing, and if you gain access to the username and the password, and account is protected by MFA, you as a hacker can send a lot of requests of MFA, and generally, if there are only two buttons, accept or not accept, the target, the victim, will push the accept button after third, 10th, or 100 request. If you had a number to enter, it's pretty easy. You can send an SMS, short message to this person with this code. Yes? And if you send this SMS from a spoofed number, spoofed account as a Microsoft, I think all of you, or maybe all of you, maybe
Majority
some of you,
would click.
Yeah, would paste it here and click yes. So if there is no information from what application this request comes, this is a really, really big problem for you, for your companies.
Microsoft reacted very swiftly on our report that the MFA is useless, kind of. And they actually brought a new version. The new version was a little bit richer, yeah? Because the prompt end user was getting was not only information who is trying to log on, but also the source where that person is trying to log on. So we said, well, we have aware users. Yeah? They will definitely pay attention to that, yeah? And it should work for us. Yeah? So we just let it go through. Yeah? We just put that part into production. And, well, again, not that long after, our colleagues, Jakub and his team, came to us with something very interesting.
Yes, this is a good moment for this. Hold my beer. Yeah. And what we did, yes? So, the solution was quite good, yes? But there is a tool called Evil Jinx who can bypass some security measures. How? Evil Jinx can prepare a page which looks like the original authentication page from Microsoft. And if the victim will provide a username and password on this page, the Evil Jinx server will send this information to a real authentication endpoint of Microsoft. You as a victim will receive an MFA. You will put this MFA on the web page, and then we can steal your tokens. Who knows that? Probably a lot of you knows that today World Wide Web are based on the tokens. Tokens are everywhere, yes? And if we can steal this authentication token, we can do what we want with the user account. I know that there was some information about application or something like that, but who reads this information? Yes, you spend a lot of time with Microsoft to prepare this small improvement.
That was pity.
This improvement was very good, but who knows that should pay attention of this small application name? Yes, and please start this demo, what we did. So we have Evil Jinx. Evil Jinx was hosted in one of clouds provider. We have a lure. Lure means the phishing page. Yes, this is a phishing page. This was an original one. This is a phishing page. Maybe someone of you noticed that the URL is not a real Microsoft URL. It only looks like a real. We have some MFA here. Yes, enter password. And now we as a hacker stole a token which we can add as a cookie to every our request and bypass MFA in every next communication. This is this token. Yes, there are a lot of tokens, not only one, but we can simply copy and paste them. Yeah, input into the browser cache, and now it will be added to all requests to Microsoft authentication endpoint. No MFA, only tokens. So the solution was good, but not
Almost.
so good.
Almost.
Almost good, yes? And nice thing, if we have access, for example, for Outlook, with the same token, we can have the access for Azure Portal, for DevOps Portal, and any other Microsoft-related services.
Not only Microsoft, because if we have applications which are relying on Microsoft, they will act the same way.
Yes. There is one company on the market, I know the one company on the market, who do it better, but maybe it's not for this presentation. Okay.
Moving on, right?
Yes, we can go to the next slide.
Okay, so what was our lesson learned from that exercise? Well, Microsoft MFA can be implemented in multiple ways. We were testing two solutions. One, we were testing MFA based on the ADFS Federation services. And the second option was to try to incorporate the MFA as a part of the enterprise app registration in Entra ID. And both solution works, but ADFS is kind of obsolete. If you would look on the Microsoft publications, they are really advising to move on from the ADFS solution towards Entra ID. Why? The reason is very simple. If you would like to secure your application with the MFA delivered by Microsoft, you can do it via ADFS, but there are drawbacks. For instance, the first print screen from the MFA challenge I showed you on the previous slides will still apply to ADFS connected applications. So there will be no information about the source. There are no sophisticated security measures in that connection. If you would compare it to Entra ID, Entra ID and enterprise apps, they are all offering a lot of security enhancement and security features, starting from the modern protocols through identity protection up to the conditional access and managed devices. And this is actually something what I would like to send you as a message, that if you are still using ADFS connections for your application, please get rid of that as soon as possible. It doesn't work. It's not effective. If you would like to have real MFA with the proper measures, I would really strongly encourage you to shift towards the enterprise app registration and Entra ID. I'm not talking about other companies, because there are also other players on the market. I'm just talking and sharing my experience, which with Microsoft.
It's not a marketing presentation.
It's not a marketing, absolutely. Yeah. So right now, majority of our estate is already using Entra ID. I'm not saying that we are already there, transformed to modern solution, because ING is a huge bank. We have hundreds of the applications. We are still migrating one by one. But we are at least aware that what we relied on the very beginning, ADFS, was not the target solution. Was it effective, Jakub?
Yes, I think yes. I can say yes, or maybe like that. Now we will show you the same case as before, but with one checkbox enabled in Azure Entra ID. Or Entra ID. This is one thing from conditional access and called the managed device. So now an authentication request can be sent only from a managed device. What is a managed device? Managed device is a device managed by your company and trust in your environment. So this is something like domain join computer. Yes, and I know right now one bypass for this, for managed device, but this is a long story, and probably we will show it you in
the next
year.
session.
Yes, next year. So
it's not bulletproof, right?
Yeah. Let's go with this presentation. Yeah. So we have the same situation as previous. We are going to the fake page. We are trying to log in. Now we have a session in our cache, so I will be only asked to use the previously used session. And there is a prompt from MFA, and when I push accept on another device, there is an information in Polish. You cannot log into this account because the request was sent not from a managed device, because the request was sent from this IP address. This IP address is attacker IP address of Evil Jinx server in AWS in this situation. Yes? So the Entra ID, the authentication endpoint in Microsoft, saw that the request was not sent from the real company computer, but was sent from another one. And even if the username, even if the password, even if an MFA is correct, the authentication is not correctly prepared, yes?
And managed devices is only one of the conditions you can use to strengthen your MFA challenge. So it is really strong mechanism, but as Jakub mentioned, keep in mind, it's not bulletproof.
We have one use case how to bypass it. It's not so easy, but we will see what we will do with it. Yeah.
Let's move on. Current threats and modern countermeasures. We'll start with threats. What still works? What is your bet? Anybody?
We have socks.
Okay, it seems that everybody has socks. So let's move on. Phishing.
Okay, what do you think about phishing? Is it still working? Yes, it worked, it works, and it will work, because phishing is about human. Yes, you are attacking human. You're not attacking a technology. Maybe between a phishing and human is a technology, but you can bypass this technology. There are a lot of filters, a lot of security products to stop phishing, but generally it's always a war between someone who sent phishing and someone who don't want to get phishing. There are a lot of solutions that try to reduce phishing attempts, but it will be more. Do you remember pandemic? When the pandemic started, all of you, me also, my wife also, start to use internet shopping. Yes, and we from 3-4 years, we have a lot of information right now about in text messages about some financial status, about some delivery status.
We are flooded with the fake
links.
SMS with links, right?
Yeah.
Anybody doesn't recognize that? I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So generally, I don't think so. There is an easy way, or probably there is no way to stop phishing. Yes. Also, phishing also are related, for example, with sender spoofing. I know that the sender spoofing in SMS, in short text messages, is illegal in Poland. But who cares that it's illegal? Yes, there are a lot of portals when you can spoof any of sender ID. Also, you can spoof it and paste their ing. Yes, it's real. Sorry. Okay. What about APTs? Advanced Persistent Threats. I said there are a lot of new security systems around us. Yes, but also the truth that the bad hackers don't care about the security system. Probably in the past the hacking was easier, but today we have a lot of money, or maybe not we, but these bad guys had a lot of money to bypass all security measures. Yes, you can buy 0 days. 0 days for Windows, not cost so much. Yes, if you're a good working bad hackers company, you have money to buy 0 days. And remember, in hacker society, black hackers, white hackers, gray hackers, we are saying try harder. So if someone said you it's secure, we can try harder to bypass it.
It's just a matter of time. So where we are right now, As Jakub mentioned, we have a number of threats. The attack vector is spreading enormously. And if you would look at on the security community, there are a number of buzzwords which are currently circulating around. We are talking about the zero trust. We are talking about the least privilege. We are talking about the passwordless authentications. There are a number of techniques which we can apply to secure our environment. Are they effective? If you would implement them one by one, solely, I think that there will be always something to find to go through. But the practice is that we need to actually implement them in the way which was described years ago by Microsoft in the form of defense in depth methodology. So we need to actually build the layers of protection of our environment. If you look on the things I just mentioned, least privilege, a very nice buzzword, but is it still relevant? Well, if you have a theoretically least privilege, but you have them permanently, well, at a certain point of time, you might become a victim of the attack. And then the person who will get your credentials will get those theoretically least privilege. So even those concepts which are currently circling around the security community, they are evolving. And that the least privilege concept, it is turning into just-in-time. Classical airbag, role-based access control, is also shifting because it is not sufficient to cope with the dynamically changing environments like a public cloud. You cannot use classical airbag, it's too slow. So it's also turning into attribute-based control. And there are many more things which are popping up on the market. It would be pity to not say about the AI, because it's a buzzword, again, which is everywhere, and I believe that we will hear the AI million of times today. So I won't talk a lot about it, because that session is not about the AI. I will briefly tell you what we are currently using AI for, because the companies are trying to sell their products saying that they are AI enabled. But do they really use AI? In practice, if I'm trying to translate it into what we are doing in banking industry, I would say that we are actually rather using machine learning techniques to analyze a large amount of data, and it's happening in the IAM domain. We are using it to optimize our role-based access control. We are using it to do risk profiling of our employees and customers, and banks are really good in that. Yeah? So that's the area where we currently are, I would say. Let's move on. Let's move on to the future, what we are facing, what we have on the horizon.
So, looking for the future, look, for example, for a war in the Ukraine. Yes, drones, you talk about AI, machine learning, vision recognition. It changed very, very quick, yes? And the technology, as we think about technology from 2 years ago and this technology from now, it's a very, very scale of growth is very, very big. Do you remember attacks on the OT systems, operational technology systems? For example, Stuxnet, yes? Stuxnet was 20 years ago? Something like that, yes? How this part of IT security and IT offensive security must change through this 20 years. From 20 years, I don't think so we heard about attacks on the OT systems, but during the war in Ukraine, we heard about it, yes? What about financial world? But this not the financial as a banking, but general financial, your financial world. Do you remember tweet from Donald Trump from...
Good time to buy.
From January or February? Yes, let's buy. Yes, because Donald Trump know that the taxes will change. Yes, and they tweet buy. And the stock in the USA and other countries
went crazy totally.
Yes, was crazy, yes. So this was an attack for financial system, in my opinion.
And he didn't use any vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
So it's simple. The Twitter is sufficient for hackers.
Yeah. Supply chains attack. Yes. supply chain attacks start 2-3 years ago, I think. Maybe there were some previously, but this type of attacks, in general opinion, started in 2-3 years ago, and it will be grown. It will be very, very big problem for you, me, and also for every of us.
So what we can do to protect ourselves? I'm right now focusing solely on the identity and access management because that's my domain. Yeah? So we are not covering the entire landscape of security threats. If you would ask me where I would like to put my attention to, then I would say that there are three areas which are really developing fast, and we need to pay attention to them. We need to observe what is happening. AI, it's obvious. Yeah? It's growing like crazy. Literally daily, we are getting new functionalities, so it's a no-brainer. But what else? When I think about the IAM, I think that, well, we should think how we can actually protect our identity as an object. And here, I think that the blockchain may be the solution. I'm not saying that it is, yeah? Because I was frankly a little bit surprised that it's not developing as fast as it could, as fast as it was envisioned when it started. If you would look on the market right now, we have roughly few successful production implementation. One of the biggest one is Estonian government. They implemented eID system based on the blockchain for the Estonians. And it's really nice to read how it works, because from your perspective as a security specialist, that might be the direction to drive your development. The second area, which is quite concerning for me, is the quantum computing. And you may say that, well, quantum is something which never will come under our roofs. But if you would look on the 90s, people were saying that PCs won't be at home. And right now we are wearing more powerful devices on our wrists, right? And I strongly believe that the same will happen with quantum. The quantum computing will, at certain point, land under our houses. I'm not saying that all of us will have quantum computer at home. But if you would look on the way we are currently consuming IT services, if you would think about quantum as a service, why not, right? And with quantum computing and the passwords and encryption algorithms we are currently using, I think that we are going to have a really serious problem. And it's not just a theory, guys. Because right now I'm talking from my experience. We as ING, as a company operating worldwide, we are running internal programs to check how well we are prepared for post-quantum cryptography challenges. So this is something what is currently bothering me as a head of IAM for ING. So on that note, I think that we should maybe conclude, because it is almost about the lunch.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good timing. The quick conclusion, guys. The race we are running between almost red guys and blue guys will never end. Will never end. And I would like to close our presentation with the quote of cryptography guru, Bruce Schneider. Security is not a product, it's a process. Please keep it in mind.
And you will do your best, and I will hug it, yes?
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't think so we have time for questions.